event, UFC 314 Miami. We're gonna be there, baby. The main event is Diego Lopes versus Volkanovski. Holy cow. We haven't seen Volkanovski do too hot.
Volk's been chin checked twice. The only question in my mind of him not winning that fight is if he's just chinny at this point.
After Dana White was like, that's the beauty of this sport, guys. Bryce Mitchell's gonna go out there and fight and maybe he'll get his kicked.
I kind of agree with that.
I think they want him to. I'm going to take the guy that thinks the other guy is coming to him in his dreams as a demon and he needs to finish this guy off. I'm going to take that guy.
Paddy could come over here from England and I'm Team USA and Michael Chandler's brolic muscles and he gets boa constricted up because Chandler's a good grappler and he's had Oliveira on his back. Oliveira also checked that chin.
Yeah.
Robbie, where you at?
Still haven't heard nothing?
What's up? We got some people in the house. We got some hot topics to talk about today. Lerone Murphy beat Josh Emmett. I saw one highlight, and it was Josh Emmett getting a takedown, I think.
Yeah, when he picked him up, he picked his, like, the highest. That was like some Matt Hughes, like Carlos Newton type. His was like clearing the top of the cage. Like, he could have tossed him over. That should be a dub.
That should be a dub. Why is that not a dub?
It should be. I mean, how do you can defend?
Mike, text Hunter Campbell right now and say, look, you guys need to intro the new rule. If you throw the guy out of the cage, it's like old WWE, man. You win automatically.
I think Tank Abbott literally tried to do that back
He did. That's a good call.
They said that if you get them out of the cage, you win. And he tried to toss that guy over.
Oh, I remember what you're talking about. That's a sick shot.
I feel like I remember being in the UFC and somebody asked that question, like, oh, if we throw them out of the cage, do we win? And they said,
I've never
yes.
thought of that, but it should be an automatic win, yes.
So wait, someone got thrown out of the cage?
No, that's the takedown you're talking about. When Josh Emmett picked him up, like he had him like almost on top of his head like a basket, dude. Like he had him. That was crazy. It wasn't even a fireman carry. He was like even higher than that. His entire waist cleared the top of the cage.
Friday had a good BKFC fight, and then Saturday had BKFC fights, and then Saturday night UFC. Shout out to Finney. He's a shark out there at Fusion XL, man. 185, 11-0. He's like 5'8" or 5'9".
Yeah. I think he's 5'6".
Wide or tall?
Wide.
Thick.
Oh, you don't know who that is, Bagz?
I know who he is. He's like this, bro. He's built like this.
Dude. They might cut him after one win. I mean, it's just I don't know. I hope
how he chose to attack the fight.
That's what they're saying, yeah, because that was like his issue in Dana White Contender Series.
I get what you're saying. But
yeah, but I say keep him. If he's winning, he's winning.
He fights to win. I don't get rid of people who win just because their style isn't your favorite.
All right, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this for a minute, though. I was talking with my trainer this morning, and I said I feel like UFC is losing a little bit of the luster. Right? The excitement, at least. And a lot of people are complaining. Like, hardcore fans are complaining. The fights just aren't very exciting. You know, is the UFC dead? Is it not? Now, look, it's a lot of hyperbole. We know it's not dead. But at the same time, you've got a major shift to the wrestling aspect of it, right? Where it's just, they just don't produce as exciting of fights. But Dana has to try to do something. But there's only so much that you can do, right? Because if you're the UFC, you have to say, we're going to take the two best guys, lock them in a cage, shut the door, and the best one comes out. And we really can't have any decision on how they come out, right? Or how they win that fight. But one way that Dana can do that is to put his finger on some of these guys, right? What was the guy that they got rid of a month or two ago?
Oh, Makaev. Yeah, he's
7-0, something like that.
Like undefeated. 5-0. Yeah, he deserves
like,
to be in the UFC. Yeah,
like you're done. You know,
didn't they get rid of Khabib's guy?
That I think that's who you're thinking
Oh,
of.
that's who we're talking
He's
about.
a grappler like that. Yeah, he went over and fought an Eagle. He swept some dude, won real quick. He's gonna come back. He's gonna come back, I think. And it wasn't when they let him go. It wasn't just his fighting style. It was also like he was apparently just like to work with. He's like younger, undefeated, and super entitled. Maybe it's a learning curve for him. They booted him out. He gets right, comes back. Who knows? But yeah, you're right, Bagz. Makayev.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just using that as the example, right? And like you were just saying, maybe they cut Finney, right after that win. Maybe they do because that's really the only thing that Dana can do right now to try to bring the sport to a little more excitement, whether it's stand up or whatever, is by cutting these guys early and often that are just boring fighters, even if they're good.
Yeah.
I feel like part of their jobs, like, sometimes fighters come in and we want to have that chip on our shoulder and we want to be, have dreams and to be the best or the most popular and most exciting or whatever. And sometimes they, when you show up to take your pictures or do certain things, instead of treating you like this up high celeb status guy who has a chance to be those things, they really dumb it down and make you realize like, oh, everything is normal. We all have jobs to do and I got to play my part. They got to play theirs. And like, if they're having a bad day, that's not the day you're fighting. You're fighting in a day or two from now. You're doing all your media stuff. And then, you have to, and some people make it through that. They don't think about it too much and they really do become that star that you see in the UFC. There's a few. I lost you a little bit there.
No, I'm following you. I get it.
I feel like we've touched on this with multiple of the older kind of goats we've had on here, and then some of the newer guys. Like I asked Rashad and Matt Serra and a lot of these guys kind of the same question. And when we had David Benavidez on here, I asked him. I think there's like three things. The ESPN deal watered down UFC product where they don't have to try as much. Like Dana's out doing power boxing and then now starting his own boxing. It's like he has his own little thing. He's going to pass off the UFC to Hunter. I'm not saying Dana doesn't care anymore, but when you have a quota, we just have to put on this many cards. It doesn't matter how many pay-per-view buys we get because we're getting an set contracted amount of money from ESPN just to put the on. I think the ESPN deal has definitely kind of tainted the water a little bit. Then two is what Rampage Jackson and like Rashad said about this era of fighters. Like Mike, you would have fit in perfect back then in the Chuck Liddell days when people got in there and just bit down and bang. But for whatever reason, the industry doesn't really produce those stars anymore. And I think that goes like the third thing, like Paulie Malignaggi's talking about. Should the fighters get more? Yes, but should they get paid?
I don't know though, but they do. Like the card this weekend, Diego Lopes has remained super humble and chill, and he's blowing up. And with this fight this weekend against Volk, his possibilities can skyrocket there.
But he's one of the guys that Dana likes and rewards, like you, because he's always in there throwing down. Though that's the difference. Like it's less than 2 years. It's like his 7th fight. Yeah, he's getting shoot in because he shows up.
So, Mike, when we were having this conversation, it was me and Redbeard, Carl, this morning, and he's in the room right now. But we were having this conversation. He brought up Diego Lopes, right? He's like, there's only so much that Dana can do, right? But does Diego really deserve that title shot because he's the best contender? Or is he getting that title shot because he's the most exciting fighter to be put in front of Volk, right?
A little bit of both. It's hard to say that he's not a great contender when he's performed in the ring like Tom Aspinall. You haven't even seen that much of him because he gets it done. And there's also another guy on the card, Prates. He's he's fun and exciting and he knocks people out. And, that fight with Ian Garry is interesting because Prates is a lot of. I'm excited. I want to see like what happens with the guy who smokes cigarettes and drinks whiskey, and he's fighting Ian Garry, who comes with a plan.
Shout out Ian for taking that fight, dude. He has shown as much people talked about him when he came in, bro. He's taking nasty fights.
Jeff tore his ACL. It's karma for kicking me in the face. Karma. Kicked me like that. It made me think that we were gonna brawl. And then
If
he
you don't
kicks me
know,
in my
Mike
face.
can hold a grudge for at least a decade plus.
No, Drake says, bro, we hold grudges, bro,
That's right.
for life.
Well, so what do you guys think about Lerone Murphy? Because like that goes into kind of what we're talking about, dude. Like that on paper was a fight as a hardcore fan. I'm like, okay, I'll fuck with this. Like, this is a good fight. And then Lerone reminds me a lot of like Leon. And it's not because they're both from England. It's just like the way they fight. There's like no urgency to really hurt anybody. Like, did he win? Yeah, kind of. But like, Josh was the one moving forward the whole time. I don't know, man. You have a star issue right now with the UFC big time.
There is a star issue. There's a style issue, in my opinion, is what causes the star issue.
Mm-hmm.
Because look, you're a much more hardcore fan than I am. I will pick and choose which UFC cards I watch, right? You're just going to watch it every time. If you're at the house, you're going to watch it. I'm not.
Ain't nothing to do in Albuquerque. Oh my gosh.
But what I'm saying is, right, is it's a style issue, because now this weekend in Miami, I want to see this card. I want to see Volk and Diego go after it, right? There's a storyline here. Is Volk chinny, or can Volk be great again? Diego's an exciting style. I want to see that. The last couple of cards, they haven't intrigued me. And it's because I don't want to watch too much dry hump for 3 rounds. I'm just not into it.
What'd you think about the fights? You watched the fights this weekend?
Yeah, I watched some, man. I thought my favorite fight of the weekend was Sabah Homasi versus this, sorry, bro, short Mexican dude. He was a little thick, little chunk, but like he was tough as heck. He couldn't see in like the first or the second round. His eye was swole shut. Sabah hit him with, but then like got too carried away, punched himself out. And then the guy came back and won the fight. It was a hell of a fight. They gave it, like BKFC was saying, it was like fight of the year. That was a good one. Some of the other ones were tough to watch.
What, Olenek?
Oh no, that one was a good knockout by the big Brazilian dude who knocked out
What would you say to
Olenek.
people that are grappling experts? Like, Olenek's never had hands, bro. What the fuck was he doing in BKFC?
Couldn't tell you, man. Maybe he thought at his weight, but the other guy was huge.
That dude was
He was so muscular. And then the 2 main events, I think the girls put on a better fight than the 2 main events. I think it was No Doubt Trout versus somebody. I mean, they fought. It was smart and it was technical, but it was pretty boring. And then the fight between the mustache boy.
Kai.
Is that his name?
Is it Kai? The white kid?
It is Kai, isn't it?
Hey, he's a good boxer. He win or no?
He did win. Yeah,
He did win.
I
Yeah,
don't know
he's a tough one too.
I don't know
So-
who he was fighting.
I guess here's a question about BKFC too. Obviously it's hard to like match those guys up stylistically, especially if they haven't fought a bunch of times in BKFC, because it's so different than boxing or MMA, right? Striking, it just is. It's like you better get in there and get after it. But are some of these fights getting too technical? And I'll preface it with this, right? Because in DBX, right, when we had our card a couple of weeks ago, we had 8 out of 12 finishes. The worst fight, the most boring fight. I shouldn't say the worst fight. The most technical fight was the most boring fight, the Shank fight. Both the guys were super technical. You know what I'm saying? They looked great. But it was also the most boring fight just because both of them were so technical, went to a decision, where these other guys were just going in and banging.
No, those were some really fun fights. It was really fun to be there. There was a lot of excitement seeing the new rules, and people had a better grasp after the test show that some of the people that had already fought, They had a good idea about how to go about it. Some of the guys, did a great job boxing, adding in the elbows. Andre Arlovsky loved it. Their fight was technical, but it was brutal at 260 pounds. It was so brutal. Those guys were, they were fighting smart, but every time they did move, it was an explosion.
I wish that cut never happened because it was a great fight up to that point where he got stopped. Like, I wanted to watch more of that.
Well, and it's funny to see Andre talk about that fight. You can just tell how much he loves it. He's like, yo, I found dude, because he's like, I always wanted the box, but I like elbowing, so it's like he just loves it, dude. He's like, this is perfect.
That's probably exactly how he said it too.
It's pretty much what he told me. Yeah. You got any sports you're pumped on, Mike, right now, or is it all just fighting?
It has been fighting. I feel like, I've gotten to this social media era because TV used to be different. You used to turn on the television and change the channel. Now it's all apps. Everything's an app, and it's like, oh, I got to click on an app that I feel like watching right now. Or I got my homepage on the TV, and it just shows me, movies or shows. I've been watching White Lotus. Okay. Sports-wise, I don't know. Mr. Beast games, I saw him post something about going on Mr. Beast games too. So I signed up for that, and we'll see what happens.
We need Mike Perry on Mr.
I would
Beast
pay pay-per-view for that.
Yes, I would rent that. I would rent that.
He said we want the best, the strongest, the fastest. He was like, if you're the best at something, if you're the strongest, he's like, sign up. So I was like, bet. Let's go.
Did it have a what are you good at column and you put violence in it?
It was just fill this out. It was just basic information and agreeing to hopefully I didn't sign anything over to him.
We have a Mr. Beast Connect, Mike.
I sent my email and it was when I clicked sign and accept or whatever, I don't think it said sign and accept. It was just accept or send it, right? And then I sent it, and then my phone froze, but I could swipe out of the app. So then I swiped out, and then I clicked back at the link. I went back to it. I clicked at the link, and then it was frozen again. I'm like, are they downloading all my information off my phone? So I just swiped that. I'm like, damn, Mr. Beast trying to steal my stuff. And I went back and looked at the page. I'm like, it's his production page. It's only got 500,000 followers, but it's got a blue check mark. And it was a video of Mr. Beast saying these things. So I'm like, there's no way that a fake page can use Mr. Beast, because his team would be on it to get that off the internet.
Bro, you just went into some fake page, and now they're in your phone right now, probably stealing all your crypto, stealing all your pictures.
You know what my FBI agent sees? He sees the bags. That's what he sees.
I hear you.
All right, let me tail back to our first conversation, kind of talking about how UFC cards have been in a decline as far as entertainment value goes. There's a star issue, all this, like we were saying, Bagz. But this one's for you and Mike. What do you feel like you would do differently? What is your plan to do differently with dirty boxing? How would you alleviate that symptom that seems to be happening across a bunch of combat sports?
What is
whatever
the
it be.
symptom we're talking about? Boringness?
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
That's tough. Yeah, sure. I was saying, it's tough to get rid of it depends, because sometimes fighting smart is what you need to do. I don't know. I don't do that though. I just go for it. You need a bunch of. I felt like DBX1 was very Mike Perry-esque. The fights were bangers, and even if they were being technical, they were scrapping it out at points. So
Dude, I was talking to Malky about this. I don't know, a couple of days ago, and he and I were just shooting, right, and talking about, like, UFC just seems, it's a little boring for me as a casual fan right now, and I'm like, I think what we created is perfect. I feel like the rule set is great. Can we clean it up, right? Because I don't know. I think we talked about this a little bit, but Mike was like, bro, when they go to the ground and pound, we need the ref counting just like an 8 count, but like 5 seconds, right? And standing back up and give the guys a chance to get back up and finish. But I think that's about the only little minor adjustment that we need to make and like perfect. And that's probably going to take a few fights to figure out. Other than that, dude, you put them in an 18 by 18 ring. It's small gloves. It's action packed. The guys have to go at it. It's short rounds. It's only 3 rounds. It's 3 minutes. Like, dude, I was talking to Malky and I said, I've only seen in 2 fights now between the private show and the publicly televised stream DBX1. I only thought there was 1 boring fight out of both cards. We had 8 on the first one and 12 on the next one. On the first one, we had 5 out of 8 finishes. On the next one, we had 8 out of 12 finishes, right? That's a 66% rate. All KO or TKO. There's no submissions. So, and the most technical fight was the only one that I thought was boring. And I hate to say that because the guys were both so fucking talented and it was a good fight, but it just wasn't like them just going and clashing. Like if you look at Zach Pauga and Rob the Wolf Perez, bro, I'm sitting there, right? Sitting on the ring. Malky's next to me. PBD's next to me. Aiden Ross is next to me. Mike's over here commentating, and I'm watching this. And I'm 2 feet, and I'm watching it, dude. And Pauga hits him with, I'm talking about like 3 uppercuts. And I'm watching Rob's head, and dude, his jaw is going like this, right?
I can't believe he didn't go down.
And I'm like, how is this guy standing up?
I can believe it.
How is that guy standing up? And what did that do? Ow!
Shout out to the Wolf, man.
Bro. And he came back and won that fight and almost knocked him out. The last exchange almost took him off his feet. And Pauga hit me after, and he's like, yo, bro, like, I don't feel like I performed my best and this and that. And I'm like, dude, I want to see you again. Like, you put on a performance, bro. And that's the thing is these guys keep coming up to me afterwards, right? And they're like, they lose. And they're like, man, I apologize. I'm sorry that I lost and this and this and this. And I just look at him and I'm like, don't ever tell me you're sorry, bro. You just went in there and fought your heart out, which I wouldn't do, which 99% of the planet wouldn't do. And you barely lost in an absolute banger. Like, I want to see you back in the ring. That's simple.
Is that something that combat sports athletes possibly have a leg up against other athletes? Because would you be saying the same thing? You can't be a professional like league owner or team owner and be like, oh, you missed that last up bat for the clutch. I said bunt the goddamn ball, get a runner in, and they miss. My bad, coach. You'd be like, you had a good time. You wouldn't say that in other sports, only combat sports.
Only combat sports. But the thing is like, look, man, you put 2 guys in a ring and they're trying to kill each other and they both perform extremely well and you barely lose. Like, in true combat sports, there should be nobody that's undefeated for an extended period of time. John Jones has done it, right? I don't think anybody else really has.
Khabib.
Khabib. All right, Khabib. All right, take boxers out of it. Take new era boxers out of it because they're not fighting the same caliber of talent.
Mayweather was a new era, so
yeah,
he's mid. He's mid generation, I'd say.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But Ali Frazier is who you're talking about. Like, those were goats. They all lost.
Yeah. But there should be nobody undefeated in MMA in real combat sports where people are trying to take each other's heads off. I just don't see how you don't eventually get caught.
Well, see, and I think that's kind of what keeps Torrez Finney in the UFC, like, because if he had like 5 losses, 10 wins, and that's how he fought, no. But since he's like undefeated or only has 1 loss from like years ago, like no one can stop this guy. So it's interesting to me to see him continue.
Undefeated. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so I was gonna say, like, he's either undefeated or he lost like his first fight ever.
No, he's like 11-0.
Yeah, so he's someone you keep around even if his fight style is not that good, because I want to see somebody figure that out and beat him. Nothing against him, but yeah. If you're not undefeated or have that going for you, then yeah.
But here's what I'm saying. You take Torrez Finney and you throw him into the top 5 in the division right now. What happens?
He tries to wrestle them too. I mean,
Yeah.
that's his shit. Like, why not? It could possibly work. He's got a game plan. You know, that's what I mean. Okay, Bo Nickel versus Finney.
Bro,
Right now. I want to see that fight.
But hang on, but Bo's over here talking about I'm going to be minus 1,000 against Hamzat in a year. He don't want to fight Finney.
Yeah, no, he don't.
Okay, I get it. You know, I get it. I do. Robbie, where you at?
Still haven't heard nothing?
Where you at? We hear something every week. We hear something, but you know.
Hey, how about Till? Till's like, yeah, I'll fight you for 350, but it's got to be in London. It's got to be under these rules. It's got to be under this and that. He said, if not, quit talking about it, Mike.
It's just him saying no again. How am I asking for too much money when my money's there? I'm just waiting. And I could do that. I don't really care, man. I built up. I got other shit going, and it's taking off. And
I said the other day, I said that 350, I'm good with it. I'm good with it.
Yeah, let's do a dirty boxing.
Darren Till. Dirty boxing, 350, done deal. Let's sign the contract.
All right, you guys want to talk about UFC 314 this weekend? Because it was weird, man. I was looking up the odds. I'm not huge on looking up odds all the time. I kind of just think of the fight, how I think it's going to go. But there's some interesting dogs here. You guys want to run down this card? I'm going to start with one on the prelims that's actually really interesting.
Shout out Miami. We're going to see y'all down there. I'm going to be in the building, second row, on the floor.
Let's go.
Try me if you want to. I want to go viral for like Sean Strickland and DDP. Let's go.
We should reshare that clip because DDP told us some cool shit about that. Okay, anyway, Jim Miller versus Chase Hooper. This is a banger. This is a banger because you have Jim Miller, most wins in UFC history? Yeah, this dude just keeps going versus Chase Hooper, one of the youngest and one of the best BJJ practitioners.
Man, he almost died on White Lotus last night, man. Chase Hooper. I'm telling you, he was drinking a protein shake. It's crazy. Chase Hooper is very talented, super nice kid. Been on the show before. Shout out Chase Hooper, man. Fighting Jim. I think the new age jiu-jitsu
minus 750 for Chase Hooper.
He's minus how much?
750.
Yeah, he's young, man. He's super tough. Like, you can hit him and stuff. And, like, Jim's old school wrestling and basic fundamental MMA style probably won't overwhelm Coop. He's so good on the ground. So, it'll be interesting. But his hands, they're a little awkward for his height and length sometimes. He moves kind of Gumby-like sometimes, so it could be good or bad. We'll see.
Who are you going to take, Chase Hooper or Jim Miller in that one?
I'll take
Sounds like you were kind of saying Chase.
Yeah, I want to say Chase.
Yeah, I'll take Chase too. What about you, Bagz?
Maybe Jim Miller will shut us up.
Yeah.
You're not going with your boy? You're not going with your boy?
Who? Jim?
You're for y'all from the same decades, man. Same generation, man.
I knew that's where he was going, but I was letting it go.
I was waiting it out. All right, here's another prelim that's actually kind of a banger. Dan Ige versus Sean Woodson. This one is kind of weird. Woodson is a minus 160, so he's a favorite over Dan Ige. Obviously,
wait, is Woodson that tall, slim ginger?
Yeah, that used to fight at heavyweight. If you didn't know this, it's crazy. Garrett, if you want to pull this,
that's bantamweight, ain't it?
He fights at like feather.
It's bantam 135, I think.
No, 45. It's 45 because he's like 6'4". but he fought at fucking heavyweight. If you look on my profile, like Sean Woodson, that picture will come up. Matt Powers, what up to the chat, dude? He says Slender Man, pretty much.
Oh, now you got the chat. When I asked you for the chat, what's the chat talking about? You
hey man,
the
they
chat.
just
Where
showed
the
up.
Chat? It's on Twitter.
Hey, what up, Matt Powers? What up, Matt Powers? What up, Cedric? I have been. Hey, bro.
Let's get back on track. Illiterate on here, man.
I'm barely literate, man.
Somebody give me some Bitcoin, man.
Oh yeah, it is pretty cheap. Okay, who you gonna put the Bitcoin on? Dan Ige or Sean Woodson? Dan Ige is actually a underdog.
Really? I think the short brawler style. I think Woodson had trouble in his last fight. Maybe he's adjusted. He's a little awkward sometimes too. I think Ige, if he gets inside and doesn't get kneed in the face, he could throw some bolo punches, get the takedown, and win the fight. So I think Ige.
Hell yeah. What about you, Bagz?
I like Ige. I think bounce back win. He deserves it. Didn't he fight? Who did he fight on short notice?
On short notice. He came in like the day of. Yeah, to fight Lopez.
Yeah. And
Ige fought Lopez?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Give me Ige. Ige deserves a win after dragging Diego Lopez into the deep end for 3 rounds in like a week's notice.
No, it was 6 hours.
Yeah,
it was 6 hours. It was day of. He said, I'll be there.
Insane, bro. That's insane.
It was up a weight class though.
No, it was 45. It was 45. He made weight and everything. He like showed like Friday. He was like, "Look, I'm here," and they're like, "No, we're going through." He was like, "Why wait in?" So he weighed in. So the next day,
on weight on. He just happened to be in the crowd, bro.
Diego went up when he fought T City.
Mike, what do you weigh right now? We need to figure out who you might have to step in and fight Saturday
tomorrow.
194.
All right. Can you cut to 185? What do we got at 185, Mac? If somebody,
we got. Let me see. I have it pulled up. Where the f did it go? It's so we got
bare knuckle boxing size for me.
I mean, if you're willing to,
I got stuff to take down.
You could hop in there against Nikita Krylov or
I
Dominic
grappled
Reyes.
Finney. Oh my god, dude! I was doing boxing with Finney, and I was like, you gave me boxing round. I gotta do a damn wrestling round with you. Oh my god, I could not get him off of me, bro. He was just laying all over me.
What is it about him that makes it so like? Is it just he's just brute strong?
He's a boulder. And he's got technique as far as like basic, like how to hold position. He can just lay on top of you, and you're just like drowning down there.
He looks like what's that Marvel character with the helmet head? No, the helmet head.
Oh, Juggernaut.
Like this wide.
Juggernaut.
That's what he looks like.
Yeah, he does. All right, so we got.
No disrespect, Finney.
No, of course, bro. He has to know. He looks. Did you see? I did a Marvel meme about him when he's Wolverine. It wasn't a diss, but like it's that shot from Deadpool. It's on our Instagram where Wolverine's like comically short, like 5'4" from in the comics. He's all standing at the bar. I was like Torrez Finney to the rest of the middleweight division. I mean, dude's winning. But okay, I'll take. Sorry, I gotta go with Woodson. Ige's a beast, but I think that range is gonna be something Woodson's gonna be able to.
Matt just likes to bet. Let's go. I like that.
Oh man, I'm a deviant. You guys have no idea.
Woodson has a chance.
He's a live favorite. Yeah. Okay, we got Yair Rodriguez and the debut of Pitbull. This is a banger. This is a banger. It's minus 185 for Yair, plus 160 for yeah. He's from Bellator. He's the Pitbull brothers. Like that had wars with Michael Chandler back in the day, all that.
Yair's last fight, he did not look like Yair. Like, we've seen some of the most incredible things you can see in mixed martial arts out of Yair Rodriguez. One time, I got a story. I was sitting next to Yair. I was lit. We were at the UFC. I'm sitting next to Yair.
I was here and I was lit.
And I'm a fan of Yair because he just does incredible kickboxing stuff. And then, so the guy says the Yair's in the wrong seat. And he's like, I'm just going to leave, man. And Logan Paul sits next to me. Logan Paul took Yair's seat. This was a while ago. And me and Logan didn't say to each other. I was just sitting there drunk and mad. I was like, why this YouTube fighter getting this real fighter seat? I was just being petty, but I didn't say nothing. But like, me and Logan just sat right next to each other for like an hour and didn't say.
Not awkward at all.
It was a good story, right? Yeah. I don't know, man. The PFL guy coming in, the last PFL guy, who'd he fight? He came in at like 185 and he just dominated the fight.
Yeah, he did. Who was that, Mac?
No, it wasn't MVP. MVP wasn't PFL. It's a white jiu-jitsu practitioner, a tall, slim, white dude. Who did he fight? It was like a month ago.
Oh, dude, you mean from one? Rainier de Ritter.
Oh, he's from one, not PFL?
Damn, I'm good, yeah.
Oh, you
But
got
I get
you would think as much money as we spend on this show, we'd have producers that just like popped in real quick. You know what I mean? Hit Google.
Nah, Mac did it. Mac's the
Yeah, I
facts
had
guy.
it. He said PFL, so I was thinking PFL.
Mac's the facts guy.
Dude, I'm Jamie.
Down, man.
I'm Jamie. I got this. But you were saying, Mike, yeah, Rainier de Ritter.
Okay, D Rider, that's right.
D Rider.
Yeah.
He fought Holland. We talked to Holland. That's right. Yeah, D Rider was crazy good. Pause. But this guy coming from PFL, man, and Yair, you know,
saying Pitbull came from PFL just don't sit right. It's Bellator. He came from Bellator. You gotta remember, PFL bought and dissolved Bellator.
When was the last time that Pitbull fought?
He been trying to
That's
get a fight.
That's why he's in the UFC. Is he kept complaining like you guys haven't fought me in forever?
If you know the story, tell the story.
We just did. He just told you the story. He said he
but like for the listeners, why I looked this up, like PFL. Okay, guys, I'm doing a lot of jobs here. I'm watching chat. In fact, I was gonna read this to you. Yo, Sean Taylor says, "What up?" Matt Powers says, "RDR is cold, but got a feeling Bo Nickel wins." Agree there. He says, "Platinum Mike, huge fan. Followed you from UFC to BKFC on over to Dirty Boxing. You the man. Can't wait to see you in your next match." That's from Matt Powers.
Thanks, Matt
Ryan
Powers.
says, "Can we get a Mike Perry fight announcement, please? Dying for Platinum Entertainment. You and me both."
Yeah,
Cedric
bro.
says, "Type your seed phrase. I'll chat in the chat. I'll send you some Bitcoin." All right, now back to it.
All right.
So who do you guys got? Pitbull. I was looking up when he fought last.
I think I got Pitbull, man.
He fought Jeremy Kennedy in Bellator in March 1 year ago.
I think that the PFL people, some of them have, you know, he's going to try to get Yair to the ground. I'm sure he'll throw some bolo punches, some wide hooks, try to catch him. Yair's a good striker. And if he's on his P's and Q's, sometimes there's nothing you can do. He's a decent grappler as well. Like, he is very scrambly on the ground. Decent is an undercut. He can be good, but other times we've seen him get held down. So, and the card is getting better. There's more fights. I'm gonna be there.
This is the best looking card I've seen since probably January.
This
On
one of the
paper.
ones I feel like
On
Dana
paper.
comes in and goes like, "Oh, let me play
Yeah,
around
we
with
need
this
something
too."
bad. Yeah, let's add some
let's
shit
do
in
something
here.
dope.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go Yair just because I want to see a Yair resurgence. I want to see resurgence back to peak Yair to contend in that division because man, he's fun to watch.
I'm doubting him because sometimes when I pick people, they end up losing. So like maybe by picking against him, he'll get pissed, and then we'll see that resurgence.
Yair is a scary one to bet for because, like you kind of said, you just never know what version of him shows up. Like he could show up and not do all fight and then land a reverse spinning elbow and dude's dead. Like he's so hard to predict. But I will take Yair Rodriguez as well. I think Pitbull has eclipsed his glory days, and I think Yair is just going to be a little bit too nasty for him. And I think this is one of those fights where UFC's finally giving Pitbull his shot, finally giving him the glow up he needs to come to the UFC after I told you, last fight was in Bellator a year ago. He gets stiffed over there, comes over to the UFC, But I feel like this is one of those fights where the UFC would love for Yair to stack on a little bit of clout to the UFC with a dub over one of Bellator's finest and best, but he wins. Michael Chandler, maybe you get Pitbull Chandler again in the UFC. That would be insane. But I'll take Yair. All right, next one. Bryce Mitchell and Gene Silva. Banger.
Damn.
And TTL says, what up? When we getting word of that jerky? We'll talk about jerky. Matt Powers, again, pre-ordered UFC Miami last night for that $10 discount. Okay, I was going to tweet the other day if anyone actually does that. Shout out to you, Matt Powers.
Word. Actually a pay-per-view purchaser.
I purchased some, dude. I straight up do. I'm not even capping. I want to watch that shit in HD. I don't want to, bro, it went down.
I don't want to around with it either.
Yeah, I hate that. Anyway, Bryce Mitchell and Gene Silva. Give me your breakdowns, boys.
Cigarette guy says John Silva kills him.
All right.
And after Bryce's, and after Dana White was like, that's the beauty of this sport, guys. Bryce Mitchell's going to go out there and fight him. Maybe he'll get his kicked.
I kind of agree with that. Kind of, on a certain level.
I think they want him to.
I know, but who knows how? That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure on Gene Silva.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
contrarian here.
I know Bryce is your boy. Not saying he's not mine, but like.
All right, what's the odds on that fight?
Bryce Mitchell's a plus 213.
All right, I'm taking Bryce. I think everybody's discounting this. Bryce is a bad dude. John Silva's a bad dude. But I'll say this. I'm going to play odds here. Everybody's going for John Silva. Fighting Nerds are undefeated. Eventually, somebody's going to take that L. And I think it's John Silva right here against Bryce Mitchell.
I don't think he's going to be Bryce.
What about you, Mike?
I got Gene Silva.
Just that simple?
It's the Silva name. And the Fighting Nerds are undefeated.
All right. I'm going to take the guy that thinks the other guy is coming to him in his dreams as a demon and he needs to finish this guy off. I'm going to take that guy.
Yeah. You know that he's just sitting like in a drippy, like.
He's already writing excuses. Have you ever fought in your dream? Have you ever tried to throw a punch in your dream? You in your dream and you like.
Bro, I'm a bad in my dreams, dude.
I'm John Wick in my dreams.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Never lost in my dreams.
All right. I'm going to go with Bryce. Gene Silva has shown before he can get cracked. Yeah, he's got that dog in him. He can hit just as hard as Josh Emmett. But I think Bryce is going to be able to tangle him up a few times. Work some ground game long enough. Probably see a finish, like a choke in the second or third round. I'm taking Bryce as well. But Gene could go out there and smoke.
But I do like the Fighting Nerds guys.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
They're so great, dude. What a great crew they've got. I hung out with John Silva and Cal at Power Slap. I don't know, like a month ago. They were both cool as. Cal's been on the show before, but I just think, dude, I think a Demon Slayer versus an MMA fighter ain't even in the same category.
Well, and like the way Bryce might be looking at it is like my career could be over if I can't, like, if people hate me for one reason, I have to be able to stand up, fight.
I think it's I think it's deeper than that, Mac.
Or he sees a demon on the other side of him and he takes a brick.
Yeah, that's scary, dude. Like, you ever seen a dude knock a dude out and start crying? Like, he's so upset, and it's like that's terrifying. All right, yeah. So I'm taking Bryce. Let me read off some more comments here. I'll make sure I stay up.
Shut the up, Mac. Hang on. Think about this. Most people have been killed, and most states have been conquered under religious warfare.
Yes. Okay.
And now Bryce Mitchell is in the Crusades right now in his head. He's in the Crusades, and they're trying to take his religion over. They're trying to, possess his body, and this guy gets one shot at it. You don't think he's coming out of that cage?
Yeah. I get it. You got to go for that guy. He's on a crusade.
Mike, what you been reading lately? I see you're in the library.
Just like Sports Illustrated, your mom's a
Swimsuit
big
edition.
So like you're at the doctor's office.
fan. Yeah.
Got a Sports Illustrated and what's the other one they always keep in there?
Oh, look, I got
Another magazine.
I got one right. Oh,
I love how he got up in his chair, just
I think I
disappeared.
got the man to beat. I got the man to beat here in the Fighters magazine, and
There you go.
who's the centerfold there? Who's that centerfold right there? That's Paddy P.
Oh, hang on. What magazine is that?
The Fighters magazine. The man to beat. It's got Paddy P in there, man.
Yeah, I need a copy of that.
You guys ready for some YouTube comments? I'm trying to stay on top of it.
Yeah, pop
Oh,
off.
that's what I was gonna do a second ago. All right, here we go.
Interrupt us, man.
I'm not interrupting. They're interrupting us.
I mean,
That's the
it's
point.
the best thing you do on this show, Mac.
Just stay on top of it. I got this, boys. All right. Cedric says, "Jerky, is that a White Lotus reference?" I don't know if you get that, Mike.
The jerky I don't know about the jerky being the White Lotus reference, but Chase Hooper is a White Lotus reference, and
Okay.
and Walton Goggins, Trevor from GTA 5 is a White Lotus reference.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
All right. So, hey, you want another series to watch with Walter Goggins? It's called Justified. It has stars Timothy Olafante, and they're like backwoods Kentucky guys, and he plays essentially like a cooker in backwoods Kentucky. There's like 7 seasons of it. It's phenomenal. Walter Goggins plays the best character I've ever seen. Now he's just about as good on White Lotus, but literally my buddy for my birthday about 8 years ago I got a signed picture of Walter Goggins in his outfit.
Walton.
Walter.
It's Walton.
No.
Is that the dude who runs all the time?
No.
I don't know, but a show about cooking sounds right up my alley, dude. I remember.
All right. And Max.
Yeah,
But yeah, it is Walton Goggins. Apologize. Shout out to Walton Goggins.
Shout out to all the people who support Platinum Perry and his wittiness, because I'm intelligent, and don't let me fool you. I know what I'm doing.
I got some more comments for you, Mike. We got BRT Dog. What up, dude? He says, yeah, for plus 213, I got Bryce. Again, yeah, nothing against Gene Silva, but that's a good price on Bryce. Paj Man says, Bryce has got some controlled rage to release. John gonna get twisted. That would be sick. Bryce the Crusader. Sean Taylor says, Professor Perry, PhD, has an impressive library. Yes, sir.
Yo, that's my thoughts. Like on betting, it's hard when I see a plus 213 because I'm thinking, okay, I can risk $100 on that and I'll win 313. But then I go, what the do I need $300 for? I need $300,000. I mean, even taking a risk, put 10,000 on somebody. That's a bet I want to make. I want to put 10,000 on somebody, make 20,000, or just double the money, even bets. But then fights are such toss-ups. Like I've made a couple $1,000 bets on some fighters, and I've lost. Sean Strickland and somebody else, I think, Izzy. I put a couple $1,000. Evolve got him. Mess me up, man.
Let's go. Sean Taylor. Oh, shout out Stu the Champ, Platty P. And then Sean Taylor says, when's Mike going to be in Playgirl when you busted out that magazine?
Word. That's really pause, dude. That's a weird question to ask, my boy.
Well, man, dude. Hey, bro. Paulie was in it. Paulie was in one. When you up?
Why
you
do you know that?
Yeah.
Because we had him on as a guest.
100%.
Why do you know that?
100%.
Stu says, yo, Mike, I don't know if you remembered, but that fight week you had last year in LA, you were coming off the airplane and I greeted you on the jet bridge, and me and the homie wished you luck on your fight. That's dope, man.
Oh, thanks, bro. Appreciate it, man. I hope, if I was on my way to the fight, hopefully I was being nice. I think I was pretty amped up that week. Like when I did my pre-fight interview for that fight, I was going off. I was like, talk your son. That gotta get in there and fight. There's nothing they can do about it. Your son.
No flight list like that. And also shout out Carl Simpson. We're kind of caught up on YouTube comments for now. But so we have Gene Silva, Bryce Mitchell. Next we got Chandler and Pimblett. If you guys want to curtail into something else, you want to talk about this, let's go. And Student Champ's laughing. He knows what the
Man, I was hoping Chandler would jump on today and talk with us a little bit. I wanted to talk a little bit with him, but he's such a really good guy. Like, he's doing like God's work out here and stuff. And what? Why you make that face? Why you make that face? Chandler's a good dude, bro. My wife was like, "Oh, his wife's so nice." Like, she be saying, doing nice things. You know,
I love Chandler, man.
Chandler used to have beef with me because I get attention for being a scrappy fighter, and he did a video with Kamaru Usman where he said something about I had a 4.0 GPA and I went to a private school, and he was like breaking down 8 Mile. And I mean, it's really interesting that this fight is in Miami. Paddy Pimblett, I wonder how he'll perform. The kid looks like one of the Beatles. So either if he beats Chandler and he becomes one of the Beatles, or Chandler might catch him with one of them heavy muscle punches.
You want to hear something weird? Well, not weird. I mean, Paddy is the favorite.
I believe
he's
that.
a minus 160. That surprised the out of me. So Chandler's a plus 140.
Well, Chandler lives in South Florida, so, you know, fighting at home sometimes can be a toss-up.
When was the last time Chandler won a fight?
That too.
When he fought.
And how many UFC fights has he had? 4, 5?
6, 5 or 6. I'll double check. And he hasn't won since he beat. Let me see here. I'll pull it up. He has lost, like, he lost to Gaethje. He lost to Oliveira.
I mean, look, he's fought top tier talent. There's no.
And
question.
he lost to Poirier. Oh man, yeah, that's brutal. It's when he teep kicked Tony's the last time he won.
When Tony was already probably on a slide.
Oh, he was on his way out. That was in 2022.
That's not fair, man. Tony was just on a 12-fight win streak. Then he lost, and then he fought Chandler. And we had never seen anyone do that front flicky kick to Tony. And
Chandler even said he didn't train it. He just saw it open and just threw it. He's never trained that kick.
He has thrown that kick in other fights, and he missed completely. I've seen the fights. He threw that kick in other fights. That was his little thing. I don't train that kick. He likes that shot.
I never seen him throw it to the face, though.
I've seen it.
Well, you're right.
I've seen it in his other fights.
So who you taking? With those numbers in mind, Chandler is an underdog.
Man. As soon as I say who I pick, the other guy's gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
Paddy come over here from England, and I'm Team USA, and Michael Chandler's brawling muscles, and he gets boa constricted up, but I don't think because Chandler's a good grappler, and he's had Oliveira on his back. Oliveira also checked that chin.
Yeah.
Shout out to Charles. I like Oliveira, man, but you know, fights are crazy. I think Chandler could. I'm gonna go USA, man. Chandler could get it done against Paddy, and if he doesn't, Paddy's probably should be a star. Or no one gives Paddy the credit for beating someone like Michael Chandler because he's only got a few fights.
I think you'd have to give him credit after this one. But you made me think of something when you said it's like you're superstitious to pick somebody because you feel like it's going to make them lose. And it makes me think of like
the algorithm.
Yeah, but with sports, like other sports, like in baseball, dude, people are so superstitious. Like if you're on a hitting streak, like I had homies that wouldn't clean their socks, or like they wouldn't, like it's stupid, you know, or like I always have to wear this shirt, can't wash it, you know, or whatever. Are fighters like that in your experience? Are you like that? Is there like anything you've ever heard like, oh, those wraps I use, I never wash those?
No. I used to I used to do stuff like that. Now I don't care. Like, whatever's clean, whatever's nice, whatever is going to make me smell better and look better and move faster and be stronger, whatever.
Yeah, you're at the point of the career now where you're buying the nice Gucci to walk out all clean, all dripped out.
I mean, the boxing show we be doing, my fits be dope.
They do.
Be dope.
All right, so you're taking Chandler. What about you, Bagz?
I'm taking Pimblett.
Oh, you're taking Pimblett. Damn.
Yeah, I'm taking Paddy. I think Paddy's top.
He doesn't get the credit he
that
deserves.
division, honestly. I think.
But people have said they've seen him get hit.
Oh, he does.
No, I mean, dude, Chandler's
fight.
got cannon on him. You know what I mean? Like,
that sounded crazy. Pause.
Well, if you guys remember, like his first, I believe it was his UFC debut. He was high up on Cage Warrior circuit. Comes over to UFC. He fought a dude named Luigi. I can't remember if it was his first or second fight, but Luigi tagged the out of him, like with a shot that should have put anyone down. Like made his whole body contort and twist. Dude popped right up like nothing happened. Beat the shit out of him. You know, like Paddy is being slept on. Well, no, not according to the odds. I cannot. I have to go Chandler.
look, Vegas knows that the average fan doesn't. I was not a Paddy fan for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Then he won the last couple of fights, and I'm like, all right, he's legit.
Yeah, I agree, Bagz. He's legit.
It's crazy that Paddy and Chandler are the co-main event.
I don't think so. I think that's a banger because, like, I didn't expect them to announce that whatsoever. Like to finally feed Paddy to the
like
wolves.
A main event. They could be a main event.
Yeah, they could have sold out an arena like in UK.
They getting them
or down in Tennessee or something. Go back to Nashville.
Dang.
But yeah, I'll take Chandler. I just feel like Chandler's gonna chin him at some point, but I will not be surprised if Paddy pops up and outlasts him and finishes him. If he does, you have a new star on your hands. So it's a win-win for the UFC.
Yo, me and
Chandler
Josh,
rebounds
me
and he's
Josh
right back.
was at a club before we get to the main event. Me and Josh was at a club in London.
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah, I think it was in London. And we let out, and they couldn't, like, with the bottles in London, it's chained to the table. Like, you can't pick up the bottle because people throwing bottles and cutting people up with the bottles over there in London. And I went outside, and, you know, when me and my wife, when we drink sometimes, like, her especially, she can get pretty spicy on some drinks and just starts yelling at me and stuff and making me feel some type of way. So we went out after the club, and I got into an argument with like 5 or 6 girls from London, and I was yelling at them, and they were so surprised that I was saying some of this stuff, and I was like, you know, because they were trying to butt in, and I was like, you don't know what she's doing to me, how she's treated me. And Josh just acted like he didn't even see any of it. And he's like, oh, I got to go, man. He got in the cab and left. He was so embarrassed by my argument. But this is the type of he instigates all the time out of me. So I'm not sure how I'm supposed to feel. That was my London story with Iceberg.
Hang on. You saying I instigate this?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what
Here's the best part of this story. I didn't see any of it, and then Mike got in his feels thinking I saw it and got in a cab because of it.
He totally
but I didn't
saw
see,
it, bro. He's capping, bro.
I didn't see or hear
There's no way you
it.
didn't hear
Any of it.
me yelling and go,
No, I didn't fucking see or hear any
and be
of
like,
it.
oh, I'm so embarrassed. I'm just going to call my car and get the fuck out of here.
Hell no. If I thought you were getting in something, I'd stand right behind you. Even if it was you arguing with 6 British chicks.
Yeah, Mike, you probably like overestimating how you were acting. You got control of yourself, bro. You're probably like, excuse me, ladies.
Thanks, Mac. I appreciate that.
And you think that you're all screaming? You're like, ladies, listen, I need to be stern.
I think the chat knows what's up. I've got videos of me on those nights those videos were seen. A lot of people saw those videos. They're not happy with me. Those nights happen.
Well, you proved them wrong, Mike. You're killing it.
Day by day. All right, main event, UFC 314 Miami. We're going to be there, baby. The main event is Diego Lopes versus Volkanovski. Holy cow. We haven't seen Volkanovski do too hot in his last two or two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, his last two.
And they were against Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria.
You know what I don't want to see? I don't want to see Islam focused on the videos that are going to come out this week. I don't want to see him showing up as the old man sleeping at the press conference, making jokes. I want to see him like he's got some fire under his and he's got this young bull that he's facing on Saturday in Diego Lopes, who's super humble, super like nice, and he fights like crazy. He's there for the action. So if we could see the Volk that faced Islam the first time, I wonder what we'll see.
I agree. I got a question for you, Mike, because you brought that up. Do you feel like, even at the press conference, right? Like, did you ever see, I mean, all the greats, really, right? Everybody takes it very seriously at the press conferences, or they're talking, but nobody ever, I don't see people get like so relaxed and dress up like old men. That was kind of an odd thing to me. Do you feel like you have to be in fight mode at the press conference, kind of all week, ready to go and be fired up, amped up?
It's hard because you can be ready for everything, and then something still happens that you weren't expecting, and you were like, you told yourself, I'm going to be ready for the things I even don't expect, and when they do happen, I'm going to try to deal with it, casually or like cool, or just got to keep my cool. But I think back in history, and I'm like, times when people were not too serious on fight week, or they try to go viral with something silly, or they keep it goofy. And a lot of fighters do well when they're playful, but like not too playful. You can't be too relaxed. You gotta give in to that nervous feeling, because you don't get to feel that all the time. You should let that fear fire you up and really be afraid and really be like dangerous to approach. And I just feel like if you look at history, when the guys were more, depending on what they said, if you heard them say something, it's easy to say after the fact that you're like, oh, when he said that thing, it sounded like he was going to lose then. But it's like, sometimes you can see it. You can see it leading the way. And that's why I say, like, I bring up Diego, how you don't see clips out of him saying derogatory stuff or crazy things. Like, he doesn't say much at all. He just goes through the motions, and then when he shows up, it's fight time. Like, he's screaming in your face, but he's not saying nothing. So, it's an interesting character to be up against, and Volk has obviously showed us his talents facing Islam the first time and giving him hell, and beating Max Holloway 3 times before we seen Max stumble. So, it depends on if the old guy who dressed up like the old guy has that fire, and he comes back and teaches the young Diego a lesson, or does Diego already know what he's doing, where he's going, and it's inevitable he's going to get that title on Saturday?
What do you think?
I think Diego.
Interesting.
I mean, it's interesting, but it's not, right? Like, Volk's been checked twice in a row, even though it was against greats. Talking about Islam.
Like 2 top 3 pound for pounds, yeah.
Yeah, dude. You tell me who's going to beat Islam right now outside of maybe Ilia moving up. I don't know that there's anybody in that division that can, to be honest.
Interesting
or welterweight, yeah.
To be honest, yeah. Even if he were to, right? Like, Volk took it on short notice, a week out of shape, a weight class up and hung with him. You know what I mean? Got chin checked.
It was
and then he
close.
went into
he
it.
Had he had nothing to lose.
I agree.
But then they go back for the rematch, and Islam was like, "This,
yeah,
watch this."
I agree 100%. But then then he goes into the Ilya fight, right? And Ilya at that time was, I mean, I don't want to say he's peaking, but he's got to be peaking. Like, how much better can you get right now than what Ilya has been on, right? And that's why he said, I'm leaving the 145 division, right? Is because who can fuck with me there? And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Ilya, if it was Ilya and Diego, I would have Ilya at a 20-1 favorite. Ilya would run through Diego. That's the difference, right? So now you say, okay, Volk's been chin checked twice in a row. The only question in my mind of him not winning that fight is if he's just chinny at this point, which a lot of guys get. You know, when you start to get knocked out, it becomes a little easier to get knocked out. Other than that, I think Volk runs through Diego.
Well, you know that stat that I believe it was like Luke Thomas that scraped up one time like a year ago. Title fights with guys over the age of 35, like so 35 or older, are like 30 or 1 in 37 or something. Like there's something about 35 in the UFC specifically. And again, I'm not being all like
Dan Henderson was 47 as champion.
No, he lost.
Anderson Silva was old as a champion.
Nope. Not past 35.
I'm pretty sure the average age in the heavyweight division alone is like 37.
Yeah, I think it's John Jones is the only guy with like, that's over 35 and has a title defense. I can try to dig that one up again, but it's a really
George St. Pierre, Matt Hughes, back in the day, they were over.
Nope, they weren't.
George St. Pierre was champion. He became champion on Michael Bisping, and he was like,
I know at middleweight, UFC
217.
217. I'll never forget because also Joanna got knocked out. But look, watch, peep this. Let me see here. So that would have been in like 2017 or 18. Let me see.
The average age of a UFC heavyweight champion is around 33.
Yes, but heavyweight's different.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it definitely goes down as they get smaller.
Yeah, how old is GSP at UFC 217? Because he was probably like 34. He was 36. Okay, he was 36. So there's one. So two. There's maybe two now because John Jones.
Call them doubters, mate. Call them doubters. What now?
What about DC?
DC
too? Yup, look.
Yeah, but dude, he hasn't fought in a long time, man.
Huh. I mean, I was watching, I can't lie, man, watching Conor McGregor go from 145 and then he fought Eddie Alvarez at 55 and he just cleaned his clock. I mean, he looked so much taller and he was slim. Like me and my wife were talking about last night, me getting in shape. And like when I be looking slim, I've been looking more dad bod lately. That's what we were talking about. Don't misconstrue that we wasn't talking about that other thing. But anyway.
Okay, DC might be a third. So, but it's crazy because it's still like 3 to like 40.
Bilal Muhammad.
No, he's 30. He's our age, mine and Mike's age. That wasn't a shot at you.
No, it clearly was.
No, me and him are the same age. If I was like, oh, he's more towards me and Mike, and I'm like 22.
Bilal's 36, homeboy, and he's a champ.
He probably just turned 36. Okay, I gotta find this again. I said it was like from a
year
ago.
Man, we got anybody famous in the chat, man? Send them the link. Tell them join up. We talk real quick. Nobody famous in the chat?
Hey, what's up, dude? You want to say hi? Here, you have a question, Mike.
Here you go, Mike. Here's your question.
Mike, you got a question right here on screen.
Oh.
He says he wants to be Rob Perez's mascot. Good job, mister.
The little wolf boy. What's up, man? Shout out to the dog owners, man.
I got a question here. Well, hang on. Garry, Garrett, can y'all pull up the Colby PI video? I don't know if y'all have seen this. It's fun.
Is it new?
Yeah, I think it's fairly recent. So I want to know, what's the most embarrassing PI exchange here between, the first one was Jamal Hill and Alex Pereira, which was hilarious, but I think this might even be funnier.
These hoes down there? The ungrateful who we used to feed. I think we should just go train around him, actually.
Well, then why you keep walking the stairs?
I want to say this. You're going to pull it right back up.
He looks scared whenever he walks around.
Turn the corner, recognize who's in there, turn back around, and look at that scared face when he turns back at the camera going up the steps. He goes up about 6 more steps and then talks shit. Oh, that is a scared face there, boy.
That looks like, woo. Like when you almost get hit by a car because you weren't looking.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Son.
You didn't look both ways, and that fucking Uber went screaming by you.
Bro, if I was Colby, I'd be waiting to catch a case, bro. Like, if someone's going to fight me, like, let's fight. I'm going to hold you till the police get here, and then I'm suing you. He attacked me.
At the PI, bro. That looked and saw him. But there's probably 20 people in there training. He saw him, turned right around, gave that face, walked up about 6 steps and says, oh, we ought to just go train around him. Man, get the out of here, Colby. All right, which one's more embarrassing? I think it's actually, I don't know, man. The Jamal Hill and Alex where Jamal rolls up on him and Alex just throws the gloves on the ground and says, get in the cage.
Well, at least he's talking to his face. You know, I don't know if it's you get more points for starting and then backing out, or if you get less points for just completely walking out.
I think walking out is more embarrassing. More embarrassing to me. What you think, Mike?
I'm putting them gloves on, man.
And who was it? It was Themba? Yeah. I don't know what the beef is there, but damn, that was funny.
Oh, Merab versus Sean O'Malley too. Merab's a friend of the show.
Yeah.
Shout out Merab. What a guy. I saw him make a video with he been doing videos of Sean Strickland. He's like, stop this. He's like, I need you to be so I can fight you. I can be mean to you. Because they're being nice. Tim Welch and Sean O'Malley are taking a different approach towards Merab. They're going to kill him with kindness.
Bro, the way that they're always doing a little bit different. Like, they kind of just come up with their own, man. Like, when Matt Serra was talking about how they were, you got to go, Aldo. Like, dude, get dirty. And it was funny reading the comment section of that on the IG because people are agreeing with Mike. People are agreeing with, but it is interesting. But I think Merab, the same thing's going to happen. Sean always has a chance to hit him, but Merab's going to do the same thing.
I hate the rematch, to be honest.
I don't really love it.
Why?
I'm okay with it because what else?
Sean,
what else are you gonna do?
Hold on. Sean did land a good body kick in the 5th.
Well, I would certainly hope so. 25 minutes into a professional championship fight, you land a shot. But that's my point. Like he's always got a chance.
You non-fighting.
No,
talking that. No. You guys are out of your mind.
No, I'm talking about statistics.
25 minutes and landed a good strike. What's the word I'm looking for? You blowing my mind right now.
Body kick, but you can't say, "Oh, well, dude, proud of my guys losing the World Series, but I got a hit."
Consecutive. What are they
You're supposed to?
They label strikes as strikes thrown.
Significant.
Jeez, I'm saying consecutive. I could not think of the damn word, dude.
That's applicable too. But yeah, significant strike.
Hey, look, I would have just eaten that leg kick and just kept going, just like Merab did.
Shout out probation, man. I'm about to get off and have a good time.
Shout out probation.
I'm about to get off probation this week and have a good time. Responsibly, of course.
Did you guys see Aaron Pico? They got him too.
They got him in a Pico case?
You mean Rico case? No, Aaron Pico's fighting. I don't remember. It's a good fight, but Aaron Pico's finally coming to UFC. That's kind of big news. He's like, if you guys don't know who Aaron Pico is, he's like the first Bo Nickel who came up through Bellator, I guess. We got a question from Garry here. How many different languages are you looking for to make for Overdogs? Let's jump that one to you, Bagz.
So we've got
Russian.
We got us three doing English. We've got Yoel Romero doing Spanish. We've got Renato Moicano and Parumpa just launching the Brazilian page, Portuguese. And then we're looking at maybe a Russian right now. But look, I don't mind, dude, if we go 20 languages.
I think we need a French broadcaster just to hear them. I want to hear the French people talk.
The French people fight.
Yeah,
French people are sick, bro, when it comes to the scrapping. They get down, man.
There's a couple of them. Yeah, there's a couple.
Isn't Francis like...
Well, he's Cameroonian, but yeah, he fights out of France, yes. And then that up-and-comer we just saw fight the other day, he fights out of France too. But hey, shout out Matt Powers. He dropped you a tip, Mike. Thanks for briefing shutting Rockhold's big mouth with a tooth.
Words are hard,
emoji.
Bro.
There's a nice little tip. Matt Powers, you're the man. Yeah, Cedric Doumbé with PFL. He is a huge French fighter that a lot of people think the UFC should not have.
Did PFL really offer John Jones $50 million to fight Francis Ngannou?
No, they might have. I know. Where would they get that? You got to go get refunds from all your past champions,
buddy. You could go. No, hang on. I could go get 50 mil if somebody wanted to put on John and Francis. Like, you could go find the money for it, and I think it would be there.
Well, why don't we do it in dirty boxing? What are you doing?
Well, yeah, let's do it, Mike. Hey, Mike. So let's do this. Dirty boxing. We'll have John and Francis purse 50 mil. Let's talk about it after the show when we get off air.
That's only one purse, though. That's the thing. PFL offered John 50. I don't think it's real. It's not real. It can't be.
Nah, it's not. All right, let's talk about what's real and what's not real. Is GFL going to go off or no?
No. If they have one card, I'll be surprised.
Floyd Mayweather got 50 Rolls Royces. Like, what the am I doing wrong in my life, man?
Not being Floyd Mayweather, dumb.
Bro got 50 Rolls Royces.
You should have been Floyd Mayweather. Ever think about that?
You should have just been him, bro.
Yeah.
Oh,
it just been Floyd.
I just need one boat. That's all I need.
You went from 50 Rolls. Bro, you an easy negotiator. That's why you don't have 50 Rolls Royces. You went from 50 Rolls Royces to one boat in 2 seconds. You're not negotiating your hard enough. All right, so, but like, for real, is GFL going to get a fight off? If not, it's the most expensive advertising campaign in history for a bunch of guys that might not ever fight again.
Dylan Dan is fighting Tony Ferguson for, I wonder how much Dylan's getting paid, man, because the matchmaker for Misfits, I was going to try to pick up that fight, would have been April 18th.
They called you a liar.
Dylan Dennis, and they said that, who called me a liar?
On Twitter, they called you a liar.
The guys from Misfits.
How?
I'll go look it up.
Bro, Mams literally said there wasn't even an offer on the table because you were too expensive.
Yeah.
That's my point. So my manager told Mams, we're looking for this. And Mams said, oh, we're way off. I guess there was no offer. So I'm like, so what? How much are they even talking about? No one made me an offer. No one gave me the amount of money that they wanted me to take it for.
All right.
And how much is Dylan? Dylan gets more because he's got 2 million followers?
Bro, but remember this, and I'm not trying to start beef with anybody, any promotion. I don't know Mams, but
No,
I've heard good things about Mams, Misfits. I've heard good things about them. I don't know. But with that said, when I was with you in Manchester, you were the backup fighter for Dylan Dennis versus Logan Paul. And I walked into that morning, bro. I walked in to have breakfast with you, and you were like, I'm fighting tonight. And I'm like, what the f- are you talking about? You're like, I'm fighting tonight. You're like, they're trying to get me against, who is the dumb from Love Island that keeps yapping online?
Yeah, they were gonna give me $100,000 to fight the 12-0 boxer.
$100,000
from Love Island, and I said okay because I just wanted to shut them up. I was there for a fight. I said let's do it, and then they came back and said no, we can't do it because we need you here tonight. If Dylan's not gonna come to the locker room, and then we go in the locker room, and then Dylan comes to the locker room, and I mean I shouldn't have let him. I shouldn't have left. I should have stayed in the locker room, said we're going to share this together. But, like, I just felt like after all the shit he said about Logan and his girl and all that stuff, I was like, I'm really not trying to be involved in that. I feel like if he's going to get in there and fight Logan, Logan wants to punch him. So, I'll take my $50K. They gave me $50K to be there, but y'all talking low to get me to fight against Dylan Dennis? No one. Okay, they said they called me a liar because no offer was made. That's why I said the offer was low. You didn't even make one. My people said we're here. They said that's too much, and that was it. What kind of negotiating is that? Out of here. Nobody made me an offer. I'd have did that. I'll still do that. April 18th ain't here yet.
My favorite thing is my dog's just watching you rant and got behind the bed. He's all pumped. He's all, tell him, Mike.
Yeah, dude, I told you as soon as you said that, I said, you are not fighting Idris for $100,000 on the undercard of this fight. No way. No way.
That too. This one guy who's he's a boxer over there in England. He's like, oh, tell Misfits I'll fight Perry for free and you can give him my purse and this and that. And I'm like, dude, why would I fight you and you want to fight for free?
And what's your purse?
Right. Well, how much would your purse be that I would get? 12 grand? I'm good. I put more into it than that. I've got 30 professional fights. And nobody ever did to me in the streets. I'm going to be in these streets this weekend. Y'all lucky my wife protecting everybody by keeping me in the house all the time. Because if I was out here in these streets like I used to be, I'd be running rampant.
All right, hey, I got to ask a question. Garry, can you find me?
Hey, make sure y'all like and subscribe. Go to Overdogs Podcast. Go to Dirty Boxing YouTube channels. Subscribe. Keep up with us for future events, man. Make sure y'all keep up with us. We trying to do new things and keep it fresh for y'all. And, I'm trying to have a good time with stuff. And eventually I'll punch somebody for you. Thanks. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for doing Overdogs live with us today. We had a great time hanging out with you. I hurt my ankle doing a backflip. I did that for you. So make sure if you got a problem, you see me at an event and you let me know to my face. I'd be happy to set the record straight for you.
He's asking for it, dude.
I'd be happy to set it straight for you. Please come say hello, and I'd love to meet you.
Someone's gonna dap him up and be like, "Why are your hands wrapped, dude?"
You just shout out probation. Is probation over before Saturday?
Yeah. Shout out probation. If anyone wants to come see me,
I hope the damn probation.
It's up in the air right now. Actually, to be honest with you, it's up in the air right now. I finished all my stuff, and I am supposed to be being released. Goodbye. See ya.
All right, boys.